Hello and welcome, my name is Kyle FtW and welcome to another Call of Duty Modern Warfare video. In this video, we are back with another just standard commentary video, but instead we are going to be talking today about how to rush in Modern Warfare, or how I rush in Modern Warfare. I know that a lot of people within Modern Warfare love to camp and sit on their butt and not move at all, but me personally, I love to rush. And I thought that I would make a video telling you guys how to rush so that if any of you guys camp a ton, I can go ahead and give you some tips about how to rush in this game. But before we jump into the video and before I jump into the tips, I wanted to mention a little quick disclaimer that rushing is not the best strategy in Modern Warfare. Definitely is not. The game was not built for that, with the mount feature, with the maps where you can get shot from a ton of angles, and overall just Modern Warfare's engine. It's not really made for a rushing heavy player. It's made for someone who is new to the game, who wants to camp all game and not move the entire match. So this is not the most practical strategy, but it is how I have fun, and I think if people rushed a little bit more, which is possible, I think the game would be a lot more fun. So anyways, let's go ahead and jump into this. So starting here, and then with that disclaimer, I just want to say that if you rush in Modern Warfare, odds are you probably won't do too good unless you're just a laser beam of a player. Me personally, I probably have about a 1.4 KD in that game because I rush so much. I mean, honestly, it's like night and day. When I rush, I don't do as well, but when I camp, I can get a 2 or a 3 KD every single game, but I just refuse to do that because it's boring. So that's just my quick disclaimer. You won't do amazing rushing, but I think you'll have a lot more fun, believe me. So now that we have all that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into the 5 tips that will help you do better, or help me rush within Modern Warfare. And coming at the #1 spot for the first tip, we have Stim. The Stim is an absolutely amazing tactical equipment. You can use this as the manual healing feature from Black Ops 4, and it instantly makes you go to full health. Of course, it does have a little bit of a cooldown, so you use it and then you have to wait probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 seconds before you're actually fully healed. So you can still get killed if there's like 3 or 4 enemies there. I mean, odds are you probably will only kill 1 or 2 of them, but because the Stim does take a little bit of time to actually work, you probably will die. But the Stim is so useful. You can get yourself into a quick gunfight, run away, use that Stim, and get into a second gunfight very quickly. The problem with Modern Warfare, and it's kind of an underlying problem with Modern Warfare as well, is that the time to heal is takes a very long time, and the time to kill is very high. So without Stim, it is almost impossible to rush. While I've been playing on PC for probably the past couple of weeks, rushing has been excruciatingly difficult because I don't have Stim. Honestly, that's why it's the #1 tip. Stim makes it easier to rush. Without Stim, you cannot rush very well at all. So the Stim is my first tip. It is so important. It will help you out in so many situations, and it is a rusher's best friend within Modern Warfare. Now, coming at the #2 spot, I'm going to talk about the perks that I tend to use on all of my rushing classes, or all of my classes in general, because I always rush in this game. So starting here with my first perk, I've gone for, of course, EOD. EOD, of course, makes you not die by explosives. When you're rushing a lot, you'll be running into claymores, you'll be running into bouncing betties, and odds are that if you don't have EOD, you will die, get a really dumb death, and you'll just end up doing worse than you want to do. Unfortunately, though, EOD is a trash perk. It works only on equipment. It seems like the amount of times I've been killed by an RPG when I have EOD, when I'm not even weak, is just insane. So I don't know why the perk is broken in the game, but it is broken. But at least you're kind of eliminating some explosions, but odds are it doesn't work very well, but at least it will save you. And with Stim and EOD combined, you can get hit by that explosive, pop that Stim, and then you're good to go. For my second perk, I have of course gone for Ghost. Ghost is probably the best tier 2 perk in the game, period. Staying off that radar, whether you're moving or not, is huge. If you're a rushing player, it is especially useful because you are not showing up on the radar. You can get flanking routes, you can run around and get behind enemies, and enemies will just not know you're there if they have a UAV up. So it's a huge deal. And that is my perk 2. Then for my perk 3, I have finally gone for Tracker. This is an absolutely amazing perk as well. It doesn't show when you kill an enemy, so the enemies will not know you're there as well. It shows enemies' footsteps who don't have cold-blooded, so you can therefore track them, shoot them in the back, and helps with the rushing. And it also shows where enemies just died. So if a teammate kills an enemy, you will know that an enemy just died there, and then you can go ahead and anticipate if there will be an enemy there or not. It's a super useful perk, and those are my those are the perks that I tend to use when I rush here in Modern Warfare, and that is my second tip. Now coming in at my number 3 tip for rushing in this game, Dead Silence is an absolute must. If you don't have Dead Silence, it is almost impossible to rush in this game again, because of the fact that enemies can hear your footsteps. The footsteps are so loud in Modern Warfare that enemies can hear you from so far away, and having that Dead Silence at your exposure, yeah, I think that's the right word, is just super useful. Having that Dead Silence, you can pop that, you can run into a building, you can actually rush harder when you have Dead Silence on than when you don't. When you don't have Dead Silence, you have to play a little bit passive. You can still rush, but you have to play a lot more passive. And what I do when I don't have Dead Silence is whenever I run around a corner, number 1, I keep my sights up, and number 2, I actually walk instead of sprint, because when you're super sprinting, or if you're regular sprinting, your footsteps are extremely loud, so enemies can hear you very easily. But when you have Dead Silence, you can super sprint, you can regular sprint, you can do whatever you want. But again, another kind of honorable mention tip, I guess, is to always keep your sights up around every single corner. The best tip I can give is every corner, just have your sights up. If there's an enemy there, kill that enemy, but then keep your sights up for just like 2 seconds after you get that kill. The reason for this is the amount of times in Modern Warfare where there's been one enemy that's after the enemy that I just killed. It happens so much. And then I go into my sprinting animation, and enemy's there, I'm not ready for that enemy, and the enemy kills me. So what I recommend you do is, if you run around a corner, keep your sights up, kill that enemy, then keep it up for just 2 or 3 seconds. You don't have to count it in your head, just until you feel comfortable that there's not going to be a second enemy there. I would keep your sights up for. So that is kind of an honorable mention tip, but Dead Silence is so huge. Just being silent, you can rush a little bit heavier, and it's a very useful tip. And coming in at my next spot as my 4th tip, I wrote down that attachments that make the gun a bit faster. So on all of my classes, I have at least one attachment that improves the aim down sight speed of the weapon, because if you don't have that, it is almost impossible to rush as well, because the sprint to fire speed, the aim down sight speed is so important when you're trying to rush. That's why I mostly use SMGs in this game. Actually, my playstyle is mostly SMG heavy, because of the fact that SMGs are quicker and you can aim down sights a lot quicker with them. Assault rifles have so many attachments that reduce that aim down sight speed, so it makes you very slow. So having an attachment that makes the gun a little bit faster, as I said, just one attachment that improves aim down sight speed. That can be no stock, that can be, I think it's stippled grip tape, it can be anything. Just have one attachment at least to help improve that aim down sight speed, and you will automatically be more successful as rushing. I also recommend the tac laser because it improves your sprint to fire speed as well. So you can if you get into one of those sticky situations I mentioned earlier in the video where your sights aren't up, you can kill an enemy a little bit easier because you'll be able to pull your sights up faster. I also recommend a silencer, of course, because a silencer will keep you off the radar. People who have been playing Modern Warfare since it came out are very good at looking up at that top little compass and seeing where those gunshots are coming from. So not showing up on that radar is super useful, and you will automatically do well and therefore succeed at rushing a little bit more. And last but not least, coming in at my final tip. My final tip is to not play TDM or free-for-all. Those modes are terrible in Modern Warfare. I don't even touch them. I play kill confirmed, domination, headquarters, and hardpoint only, and that is the only way I can stay sane in this game. If you have a Call of Duty game that is camper oriented, like Call of Duty World War II was back in the day, Modern Warfare Remastered, and then of course Modern Warfare 2019, do not play TDM or free-for-all. Those modes are all about kills, so you will have people that are camping in the back of the map, mounting on stuff, leaning, just being so annoying, and I don't even touch those modes. They're terrible, they're toxic, and they're not fun, and it makes rushing impossible. That's why I don't play them. So play kill confirmed, play domination, play some objective type game modes, and you will automatically have a lot more fun. And that is my 5th tip. Don't play TDM or free-for-all. They are so campy, and they're not fun. They're terrible modes. If you like to camp and you like to be a just adapt player, then those modes are for you. But if you want to rush and you want to be able to rush effectively, do not play those modes. Domination, of course, forces you to rush because there's flags to capture. Kill confirm forces you to rush because if you don't get the tags, you'll lose the game. Even though there's not a huge objective incentive in this game, you know, still, you have to have some sort of objective to get to, so therefore you have to move. Hardpoint, of course, has a moving point around the map, so naturally you're going to want to move to that next point. Headquarters is the same way. So again, just don't touch TDM and free-for-all Modern Warfare, or you will just hate yourself. I mean, I hated those modes so much in that game. I mean, the kill limit is 75 anyways. The max kills I normally get in a TDM on average is like 10 to 15. It's just boring. It's not fun, and you will run into a ton of campers, which therefore means that you can't rush. Then you'll get frustrated and you won't want to play the game. But as I said at the very beginning of the video, rushing is not a viable strategy if you want to do really well in Modern Warfare all the time. Either you reverse boost or you camp your butt off. But I refuse to do that, so I thought I would make this video to kind of help anybody out who really doesn't know how to rush in this game, or just maybe wants to try and rush a little bit in this game. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this video. I felt like it was kind of long. I'm not sure exactly how long it was. I can't actually see the recording because I had notes up, but I feel like it was a pretty long video. So I really hope that this video helped some of you guys out who maybe want to rush or are new to Modern Warfare and want to rush a little bit, because this is the way that I rush in this game. And again, I don't do very well, but I have fun doing it, which is why I do it. So anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new. Make sure to check out all my other previous Modern Warfare videos from yesterday. I had another blueprint review episode, which you guys showed a ton of support on. And if you want to check out my second channel as well, I had another part of my Call of the Dead Return to series, so you can check that out if you want to. Also, I'll see you guys on another Call of Duty video very soon.